GHOSTEMANE told me that you wanted to make beats like this. Well, I'm going to show you how today using only FL stock plugins, and by the end of this video you're going to be like, damn, I can make GHOSTEMANE beats. Alright, so first let's talk about tempo. GHOSTEMANE usually likes to stay around 145 to 155, so I'm just go at 150 because I like that tempo. And all you're going to need for this beat is a piano. I'm going to be using Flex. We need an 808. I'm going to be using this Future 808 from Splice. And then we're going to be using a punchy kick. For this one I'm using decap. And you could pretty much use any trap snare you want. I'm just using like an OG 808 snare, because I don't know, it just sounds kind of cool. Then we need a hi-hat with a small room reverb on it. So you can just copy these settings. We're going to have an open hi-hat, a cowbell, because you got to have a cowbell, and a clav. Yeah, that already sounds like Venom right there. Okay, so the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a horror effect using just this piano, which is crazy, I know, but check this shit out. So the way we're going to do this is just by picking 3 notes all beside each other and then pitching it up high, so you get like a 80s horror type of sound. So once you have the notes where you want them, we're going to go into here and change this to arpeggio. We're going to go to the question mark so that it's random. And you want the time knob to be around 9, but you can play around with it and see what works for you. I know that sounds stupid right now, but wait till we add the effects. Then we're going to go to the mixer track, and I'm going to put a high pass filter just to get rid of some of the low end from the attack of the piano. Then we're going to add a fruity reverb 2. I'm just going to turn the wet up all the way, the dry down all the way. I'm going to take the stereo separation knob and go all the way to the left. Then I'm going to take the size up to 100% and the high cut up all the way as well. So that now we have this. Which still doesn't sound great yet, but wait till we start doing some effects. I'm actually going to make this note longer, because why not? Okay, so now we're just going to export that sound to audio. So now we've got this sample. And if you time stretch it with resample on, it's going to make it longer and lower in pitch. So I'm just going to play around with it, and you can just play around with that, do it as much as you want. And that gives you like a really cool horror sound. And I think I'm also just going to reverse it. And I'm going to choose somewhere in the middle so there's no like click. I'm also going to change this to generic bleeding. Now I'm just going to copy and paste it so it sounds like a sampled horror effect. Then let's bring that into a mixer track. Put a limiter over it so you know never goes above 0. And then I'm going to take out a little bit of this range, just wherever it's peaking at, just so it's not so intense. And then I'm going to put a reverb on it again, just to make it sound super atmospheric. Let's get our drums. Alright, we're just going to do like a really simple drum beat. Let's get a kick here, snare here. Yeah, we'll just kind of repeat that. You know, you can do this however you want to, but And then let's get our hi-hats and let's do like a very trappy pattern. So I'm just gonna add a couple of little like rolled hats every now and then. So I'll just stretch one of these out and highlight it and click Alt U to chop it automatically. I just like to add an extra hat every now and then. Then I'm going to add an open hi-hat just at the beginning of it. Just to give it some variation. And let's take this clav. And I like to just put that on the offbeat every now and then. So something like this. Or and then same thing with the cowbell, I'll just throw it in every now and then on an offbeat. Alright, and the next thing we need, we need it, is them big old 808s. So I have this 808, which is a future 808 I got from Splice. That's what it sounds like. And I'm gonna just play around with the pitch until I find something I like. And his 808s, I'd like in the old Ghostemane, you know, are pretty much just like sustained, nothing crazy going on. Alright, now we're gonna distort this 808 and make it loud and then tame it a bit. And I have an entire tutorial breaking down how to make your 808s hit hard as fuck over here. So if you want to see that, click that. But basically there's a easy way and a hard way to do it. The easy way would just to get the Chill Panic 808 Baker Patcher preset, which is only FL Studio stock plugins. Which basically just turns any 808 into a boom boom. But if you don't want that, what you could do is just add some, where's it at? Where's my distortion? You could add some Fruity Fast distortion. You can add any distortion to it and then low pass it to get rid of the super highs. But yeah, the Ghostemane beats like that are pretty simple actually. So if you'd like to know anything else, hit me up in the comments and I'll tell you about it.